So we've picked up a new mower. This one is a X350. This is not the ones that you see at like Home Depot and Lowe's, that type of deal. I picked this up at the Johndeere dealer. And there's some differences. If you guys are interested in that, I'll probably do a video on it in the future, but there's kind of some standard things that I do when I get a new mower, and I like to remove some of the safety features. I know that they're there for a reason. I completely understand that. But one of the things that we're gonna tackle today is actually removing the seat sensor, if you will. And the reason that I want to remove this is because essentially if you're out in the field working, even if you're not mowing, you can't get off the seat and the mower continue to run unless you set the parking brake. And that can get a little annoying, especially if you're on flat ground. Obviously, if you're on a hill, you're gonna set the parking brake, that's not a problem. But when it's clear that the mower is not gonna be rolling anywhere, you're not mowing, it's annoying to have to set the brake every single time. So the reason it shuts off is there's a sensor in the seat. It's really easy to take care of, and I just wanna show you how to do that. And of course, I had to get the Johndeere shirt on just for this video today. So let's get started on it. Now I want to clarify, if you choose to do this on your own, this is not me recommending you to do this. I am just showing you how I did it. But essentially you just come in and you can just push the seat forward. This is the same on most Johndeere mowers. So if you have a mower that's not specifically an X350, even some of the ones from Home Depot and Lowe's are set up in the same way. And if you look underneath the seat, you'll see a wire here leading to a little sensor. And essentially, this is, again, it's super simple to do. And I'm gonna show you how to get there, but or how to get that taken care of, but this is how you get to the area to accomplish this. Okay, so this is super simple to do. Generally, I like to pull back some of this protective plastic here and get back a little ways here. The reason that I do this is because if I ever sell this mower and somebody doesn't like that I did this little mod this way, they can still have a little pigtail to work with here. So I'm going to cut these individually. You never want to cut wires at the same time, especially if there's any power going to them, because you can arc, especially with metal pliers. So I'm going to cut one of these at a time, just like that. And we're just gonna leave these here. I'll probably tape them up, but that way if like I said, a future owner ever wants to connect this back together, they can do so. And we're gonna open up this wire loom here a little bit further. You may need to cut this open a little bit, and we'll wrap all this back up neatly when we're done. And I'm gonna take those two wires outside of here. Now while I'm doing this, I've got my soldering iron heated up, but we're gonna take these two wires and just strip back a little bit. And the way that these switches works is basically when you sit down, it completes the circuit between these two wires. When you get off the seat, it uncompletes the circuit, so it causes the engine to basically shut off. So all we're gonna do is connect these together and complete the circuit at all times. So I know this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna take these two wires and open them up a little bit. And then we'll put them together. And we're just gonna spin them together, and then I'm gonna solder it. You could also use a wire nut if you wanted to. That would work as well. I like solder just because it's easy to get to and it's pretty bulletproof for the most part. So now that I've got those twisted together, I'm gonna run and grab my soldering iron. If you got somebody that can help you hold this, it certainly helps. This is not a lesson on soldering, but I'm gonna go ahead and solder this together. And now that this is cooled off, I like to take some shrink wrap and stick it on here as far as I possibly can. And so the wire ends about right here, so I've got a lot of shrink wrap left over. And I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this down. so that it doesn't make contact with anything else. We don't want that. If you got a heat gun, that'll work for this as well. This is happened to be close by. So we'll let that cool off for just a minute. And if you're really somebody who likes things to be orderly, this has no power to it anymore, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna leave it in here. And then this, like I said, if you're somebody who likes things to be orderly, I'm gonna take a zip tie and I'm gonna put this right up next to it. That way it's not bouncing around and hanging out. Get it fairly tight. And that's perfect. That way you can still lift up and down the seat perfectly. And you also don't have this bouncing around everywhere. And now you can hop off your mower if you need to without having to set the brake every single time. So thanks again for watching, guys.